Greg. You wish for a little more action?
I do wish for more action, Mike.
As you wish, Greg. Let's party! Greg, we're just getting started.
Now this is nice.
You got 2 wishes left.
Boxing King Media in association with the Riyadh season. We're out here in Riyadh in Tyson Fury's presidential suite. Is that a fair comment?
Yeah, it's quite a nice room. I'd like it at home. I don't think it's a presidential. I've walked in some of the other rooms and it's not as good as them, but it's good enough for me.
It definitely is, man. And just tell me initially, Shane, how are you finding your time in Riyadh? I know you've been here before. Hospitality, you know, from Turki Sheikh's team as well, and just how the event's been going so far.
Well, we couldn't have been looked after any more. Lovely hotel. I had a bad leg when I come here. I've got a problem with my leg, my ankle, and private doctors come the minute they got phoned, and X-rays, and listen, just special treatment.
That's a good effort. That's you've had doctors come to, because I heard about your leg the other day, so I'm glad it's on the mend. We're here for your brother's return, fighting Francis Ngannou. A lot of people said initially Tyson ain't going to take this fight seriously, but you can see by the shape of him, he clearly is, because he looks like he's lost a lot of weight from the guy that turned up at that press conference. And what is in store for Francis Ngannou, do you think?
Tyson is he's never body beautiful, is he? I'm on a bit of a diet at the minute, and I'm trying to train, but I've really got no hope at all, because I look at Tyson. He trains twice a day all year round. When he's not in camp, he eats a bit of shit and tries to watch what he eats, but he does eat it. And he's still not a good shape person, is he? But he's so fit. I've never met anyone what can out-train him. He's never come across. I've never seen him quit on anything, and he's always the first to start and the last to finish. He's fit. He's strong. He's always listen. Tyson can come off the seat and do 12 rounds at a push and dig in and put a good performance on. With the training, it's about getting his boxing right and his timing right. He's been sparring. He's had the best of sparring he's had. Who's he had? He's had Nick Webb for a week. Nick Webb for a week. Solomon Dakis. Bacoli. Excellent sparring. Joseph Parker. And there was another Scotch lad as well. I've totally forgot his name, but listen, a lovely person and can fight as well. Listen, he's had the best of sparring, and yesterday was the last spar, and it was really good. Him and Joseph Parker, really sharp, the pair of them.
Good stuff. And you know, the build of the event, we saw that trailer come out a few weeks ago, which is like smashed numbers all across social media. What did you make of that? Tyson seemed like a natural at acting.
Yeah, he's a natural. He is a natural, isn't he? The people, when it's tape one and they go again and they don't got to do the second one because he just cracks it the first time. He's very good at it, but he's well used to it, isn't he? But the actual the promo was the best I've ever seen. But a lot went into it. I thought it was going to be a lot bigger than what it was. Not better, but a lot longer. I thought it was going to go on for half an hour. They was there for 3 solid days. So they never used they never used 98% of it. But it was definitely the best promo. And I say if they're going to throw another one out before the fight, they've definitely got enough video of it.
I'm looking forward to it. One of the things I asked Tyson the other day, I'm going to get your opinion on it because you've been by his side throughout this entire boxing journey. You know, if you go back to when he started his career, I remember he was starting around the same time as David Price, but if you saw a lot of the comments in the public opinion, everyone backed David Price and they felt Tyson would at some point stop or fail, etc. And then obviously you saw the fact that he put on all that weight. They said he won't be able to lose that weight, he won't come back, he's retired, he's done. He was a massive underdog against Klitschko. I think it was 10-1 when it started. They said he wouldn't beat Wilder, and some people's eyes he beat him 3 times. And then most recently they said that he was going to duck Usyk and just get money-making fights, exhibitions, etc. And every single time he's proved them wrong. So, you know, you seen that as a brother alongside him through that journey, and how do you reflect on that?
again, like Tyson says, there's always haters, there's always naysayers. We believed before he even had an amateur fight he was going to be what he is now. Anything less than what he is now, the most dominant figure in boxing, was a failure in our eyes. Like I say, he's had his setbacks. He's had his setbacks, but everything happens for a reason. Maybe if he never had the setbacks, he would have come on stuck. But because of these setbacks, he's here today. We've believed him all the way. And listen, he keeps on proving them all wrong. Tyson is the most decorated fighter ever to come out of Britain. He's won every belt in boxing. The only belts he's not won is the central areas. He'll probably come back when he's absolutely goosed and win the central areas just to have them. He's won absolutely every English, Irish, Commonwealth, British champion, European, the 50 of the intercontinental belts, and all the belts. Ring magazine. Oh, he's done everything. He's the most decorated boxer in British history. There is no one else to compare, and the awards and everything else he's won. Listen, I haven't got a blow trumpet for Tyson. Tyson, his actions speak all languages, and he will have his haters and that, and the ducking and all that carry on. I'll say it once, and I'm not going to run anyone down. This fight, like Spencer Brown made a video with you, it got made in hours, as soon as the funding was there. It's all right me saying, right, I want to put this fight on, but without the funding, you can speak for 20 years. It got made in hours because the funding was there, and things were just simple. Like, listen, both sides want the fight. Both sides want, really, no matter what Tyson says, he wants a legacy. Both sides, but they want paying for it. You know, they're at the level where they want paying. You know, it's just what it is. The fight got made instantly. Now, the Wembley fight, that was all but done. Something happened, whatever happened, I can't even remember what's happened now, but listen, Tyson was willing to fight at all times. He was willing to fight for the Saudi beforehand, then the Wembley, and now this come across. So no one's ducked anyone. But it's about making the fight and making it pay. And if the money's there, it's all right talking a good game, it's about delivering.
And just before it was made, you know, when people thought it wasn't going to get made, you know, I'll name, I think Simon Jordan, he was quite open about it, and obviously from his point of view at the time, it seemed like, you know, the fight wasn't going to happen, and Tyson took the Ngannou fight instead. And I think the comments he made was that, you know, you should be ashamed of himself if he's not going to fight Usyk, and, you know, words such as duck were used as well. You know, what was going through your mind when you was watching stuff like that, because it was quite a big news story at the time?
I was just thinking, who really cares? I don't really know. I've watched them all. But Simon Jordan phoned up Tyson wanting to give him to go on his show, and Tyson refused. No TALKSPORT is covering any fights of Tyson anymore. So when you get a living off of someone, you got to try and be sensible with them and talk facts. And if you talk facts, you can't upset anyone, can you? All right, the man's doing his job, he's talk facts, but when they're not facts and they're your opinion, well, everyone's got an opinion, and unless you know the facts, what went into it, it is what it is. I'm sure Usyk and Usyk's people know the truth, you know, but it is what it is. When you earn a living off someone, you've just got to try and be half sensible. But TALKSPORT and Simon Jordan will never have anything to do with Tyson again. And the biggest fight in history is coming up, and he's might have done a few hundred thousand views on the some stupidness what he said. But you know, it is what it is. I'm sure he'll do something else, but he won't be working with Tyson.
It's interesting, obviously, I didn't know that. So just before I talk about his comments, he's saying they've made an offer to interview Tyson.
100%. It might not quite be that, but somewhere around a very high figure, more than what he's ever paid anyone else. That's fine. I see you down there. And it is what it is. Tyson don't need money. He's a very wealthy fella.
But the reason I'm bringing that up is because one of the objectives was that he's took the Ngannou fight for money. So you're saying he's refused to, or just sitting down for an interview?
Yep. Listen, what is the Ngannou fight? The Ngannou fight is, in my opinion, of the Ngannou fight. I'm not gonna speak it up what it's not. The idea of let's see the fact. The fact says heavyweight's like the stamp of Ngannou. No matter if the cage fighters or boxers, what's been boxing 20 years, Tyson's gonna box rings around him. They're no good to him. I see Francis Ngannou as dangerous as Derek Chisora, Dillian White, and a whole lot of them. Whoever's that stamp, they're no good to Tyson anyway. But in event terms, it's going to be in a major event, and people will enjoy what it is. Is there a risk of Tyson getting beat? Outboxed? I wouldn't have said so. Is there a risk of him walking onto one and getting caught? Yeah, but that's the only way Tyson gets beat anyway. There's as much chance in Tyson getting beat in this fight as what there is in any other fight. You know, they all bring the same risk and the same risk. It's just what it is. It's a big event. You've got the UFC, the side of UFC looking at it. You've got the boxing fans. Even the haters, what's not interested of it. They're going to tune in. You've got the UFC, you've got the boxing fans, and then you've got the casuals as well. It's a big event. Whether people want to admit it or they don't want to admit it, they want to see the Usyk fight. Well, they're going to see the Usyk fight. Everything happens in good time in boxing.
It definitely does. And just to close on that TalkSport subject, so because some people watching this will be saying, what does that mean if anyone has like a negative opinion about Tyson or anyone? Do you rule them out? Because try and explain it for them. Yeah.
If we have the power to rule them out. Simple. If you're talking negative about me, I am not going to do an interview with you. In all fairness, the interviewers are supposed to do the interview. But then again, it's a bit different with Simon Jordan, isn't it? If you talk shit about me, for an example, I'm not going to do an interview with you, am I? So you've got to be half clever. Kugan Cassius, he does not have an opinion on anything. He'll let you say what you want to say, but guess what's not harming anyone?
That's rule number one of this game.
Is what it is, but he's a bit different. Facts. He called me a big fat cunt, which I am. Well, it is what it is, isn't it? Right, man speaking the truth. Fair play to him. But if he calls me, I'm not going to say it. If he says something what I'm not, then it's quite offensive, isn't it? Speak the truth and speak the facts, and don't come up with assumptions what you think's right, because it ain't right.
Interesting viewpoint there. I think people will probably try and understand that. So I wanted you to explain it. I think you kind of explained it. What you're trying to say.
I can barely talk at the best of times. So I'm the worst person with words. I can't get my point across. So it is what it is. Those who understand me understands me, and those who don't, it is what it is. I'm sorry, but
can I say I got your point?
Let's speak facts.
Yeah.
And it's all right just saying, why don't you just fight? It's not about the money. Well, when you get to a certain stage in your career, it is about money. After this fight, after this next fight, Usyk fight, this is the final. They're trying to say, oh, this is the semi-final. If Joshua fights fucking Wilder and Tyson fights Usyk, then they fight each other. No, the semi-final was the last fight. This is the final. Joshua fought for the semi-final with Usyk, and Tyson fought Wilder at the same time. That was a semi-final. This is the final. Anything but now, anything from now is the final between Tyson and Usyk. And absolutely anything from there, Tyson will welcome all comers. I will advise Tyson, to retire after the Usyk fight and after the rematch. But it's down to Tyson to let him do what he wants to do. But he's done everything then. You know, he's done everything now, but there's still a man in the way what hasn't been beat in the chain of events, which is Usyk. And that's it. I would like him to beat Usyk, and if there's a rematch clause, beat him again, and then that's it. He's complete. And even the haters can't hate too much, because there'll always be someone to fight. There'll always be someone to fight.
Definitely will. And
but that's what I would like, because I value Tyson more than what it is. But I've got my own life, and I've got a pretty normal life, genuine, just a normal life with my kids. I've got good friends, brothers, and I've just got a normal life. But
you've got loads of chickens as well. I've been told.
I've got a load of shite. Listen, I've got a load of stuff, but I'm a normal person. Will live what lives a normal life. But Tyson's totally the opposite. For anyone to be as good and as talented as Tyson, they've got to have a screw loose. And he's got a screw loose, and he says one thing 1 minute, and he 100% believes himself, and says another thing. But what I know of Tyson, I think Tyson will be boxing when he's 50. You know, because Tyson's not happy unless he's in training camp. Negative, constantly negative, if he's living a normal life. Once you've been the eyes what he has, and then you come back to normal, fucking, as he says, taking the bins and walking the dogs. Nothing can compare with walking to the ring and everyone, thousands of people screaming your name and so on. I think he'd be boxing for a long, long time. But if he was to listen to me, we'd have this next couple of fights and we'll be out of it. Which he don't listen to me. He don't listen to me at all.
Well, it'll be interesting to see how that unfolds. And then just a quick word on your brother Tommy. He fought the other week, and I just want to get your opinion on Carl Froch's comments. I think you've spoken before, and I think you've seen him. In short, he said the fight was fucking diabolical, it was crap, etc. And he suggested that misfits should stop boxing and it shouldn't happen again. You know, just your thoughts on them comments.
I don't really know. Carl Froch is one of my favourite fighters. Brilliant fighter, one of the best to come out of Britain. Pick him where you might have him as number 1, you might have him as number 4. I don't know. And he's got a point. It wasn't a good fight. It wasn't. No imagination was that a good fight at all. But Tommy has earned a lot of money from these fights. You know, when he's done with this, then he can come back to boxing and see what level he is really at. It was a bad fight. Like I said the other day. It was a bad fight, but a good win. You know, if he went out there and smashed Jake Paul in the first 30 seconds, and then come out and hit the other fellow with an uppercut and knocked his head off, where's he going there? He has got to go back to boxing then, and he fight for 30 grand. All right, because he's competitive with these people, he can get fights with them. You know. Think of the fights, what's there? The rematch with the last fella, what you fought. Rematch with Jake Paul. A fight with Logan Paul. You know, that's 3 more fights at £10 million plus each fight. So if he was to go in there and blast them, which, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying he could have blasted them, but let's say if he did blast them, the fights wouldn't be there because there's other fighters in boxing what can do that, what can blast them, but they haven't got the opportunity to do so because they're probably too advanced. But with Tommy having a competitive fight with him, the doors are open. Tommy will earn 50 million quid before he's done with the YouTubers. So if that's not good, I don't know. I don't think it's there for the long run because he did make a point of it. Carl Froch, you get built up. I don't know if it's Carl Froch, whoever said it, but the build-up to it is one thing. It's like getting a present. You're really excited. You take your time unwrapping it. You wanted to unwrap it a week before Christmas, and then you get it, and it's a shaving set. What a letdown. Do you know what I mean? And then you do the same again from your mum, and it's from your mother, and it's a shaving set. And then 5 years goes by. I know what it's going to be. It's a shaving set. So it is a short-lived thing, but I think we've got to forget about the YouTube boxing. I think boxing is in a sad state of affair. I think it's the worst that boxing's been in a long, long time. We turned, not like me. I'm just a fan of it, nothing else. But we turned the boxing off last night. There was 2 shows to go to get change back and forth. We turned the lot off because it wasn't that good. We know the winners before they start, and the main event. There's one good fight on the card, which is the main event, and then the rest of them are like 90-10 fights. I think these fights, these 90-10 fights, I think they need to be on a non-televised show until them fighters are able and ready to step up for 50-50 fights on television. Because boxing's going down. We are boxing people and boxing fans. We turn the boxing off and watch the UFC. You know what I mean? You watch the boxing, a fight finishes, you've got 15, 25 minutes of bullshit talking and interviews and whatever. A fight finishes in the UFC, you're on to the next one within 3 minutes. And a proper fight. 50-50. So boxing needs to do something dramatically. I think we was on about it, and I got a bit irate today. My opinion is get the small shows non-televised and build them on the small non-televised show. What's happening is the fighters, Eddie Hearn started to make a move on it, really, but what's happening is that he wants the fighters to step up without being ready. So let's get ready on a small show. What tickets you sell, that's what you get paid. And when you're good enough and you're ready for a 50-50 title fight or a 50-50 fight with someone else, eliminated for a title, that's when you get a television shot. Until then, because the boxing shows, the actual boxing shows are shit. Easier said than done. Yeah. And I have done boxing, and to hit someone with the jabs is not as easy as it is. I know exactly how hard it is. So these fellas, what's having a go and doing a good job, but it is what it is. It's hats off to them, they're a good man for going in there and having a go. But it's not what customers want to see. So it is what it is. That's my opinion of it anyway.
You're entitled to it, and I'm sure people will be interested in commenting on that. The last thing I want to speak to you about, Shane, obviously I'm going to ask you this because AJ is a potential rival to your brother if that fight does ever happen. We saw in the last few days, you went on a 4-day retreat and locked himself away in a dark room for 4 days. What did you make of that? Obviously it was in the news.
Again, we was on about this. Joshua, with him being a rival, and all these interviews and that, it might sound a bit negative, but Joshua is he's a fantastic person, isn't he, for the sport?
100%.
For the sport. Look what he's done for it. Look what if you get beat by the better man on a night, come back, train hard. It is what it is. But what you can do is you can take these people's opinions on board, and the likes of TALKSPORT saying he's finished and so on and so on and so on. If you get beat, like he got beat by Andy Ruiz the first time, it was a bad performance from him. But whatever, the questions was, how did he get beat? What happened? What happened to him? So on. He got beat, the top end of it, he got beat by the better man on the night. He come back and he won. There was no shame in it. That's boxing, isn't it? But what I think Joshua does, I think he takes too many opinions on board. And again, I might be way out. And he lets it go to art. And at the end of the day, really, I think to go to any level in boxing, I think you got to take boxing for what it is. It's a boxing match. And you got to do the best you can on the night. And don't overthink it. Because if I was to have a fight with a man in a wheelchair, it'll probably twist me up in a wheelchair. But if I was to overthink it, I'd come to things. I'd think, well, this man's going to be as strong as a bull up top half because he's been pushing his way about all his life, and he's going to be punching very hard. But realistically, that's not the case because the poor guy's in a wheelchair. Do you understand? So if you overthink things, you can make a mountain out of a molehill. So you just got to do what you do. With the mental side of thing, I think Joshua would do well just meeting up with Tyson privately, just the two of them. There's no malice with Tyson and him, and having just a chat with him, and Tyson, not like Tyson's above him or anything, just having a chat. Tyson might just enlighten him on certain things because Tyson is a unique character and he puts things in perspective. It's a boxing match. I'm going to do the best I can. I'm going to try my best. And what I can't do. And if I get beat, the best man's won on the night. Come back again and have a go. And I think that'd do him more good than locking himself in the box. It is what it is. It's what it is. But, do I think he's a good man? Yeah. Do I think he's listening to people? I might be totally wrong, but I do, yeah.
The last question I got for you on that, Shane, because what you said there was quite positive. Do you think him and Tyson in different parts of their careers have both been victims of the media? We saw how AJ was built up at the start and then recently he's been thrown down. Tyson, the other way around, he was negatively portrayed early on in his career and then he's become a hero to a lot of people. They both kind of lived the same sort of life in the boxing industry. Would you agree?
Yeah, listen, when you're in the spotlight, when you're in the spotlight, people as their two pence worth, don't they? Good, bad, or ugly. Even good, you got to take it with a pinch of salt. Oh, you're the best thing since sliced bread. You're going to beat everyone. Well, I've got it to do, so I'm going to take that opinion. I'm going to put it over there because I've got to do my training. Or you're a piece of shit, you can't box, you're a chinless piece of shite. Artless cunt. Well, okay, that's good as well, but I'm going to put that over there, and then guess what? I'm going to stick into me training. I just think you can take stuff on board too much and build it up in your own mind, and build it up to something what it is, what's not. An illustration is like, say for an example, I invite someone to, just an illustration, I invite someone to have dinner with me and Tyson and whatever. Yeah, come with me. And then Tyson tells me, I've told this guy, yeah, you're invited. I've invited you. Come with me. And then it's Tyson's shot. And Tyson tells me no one can come because it's a private event. I've got to tell this man. Now I'm building up and I'm avoiding these calls and I don't know what to say to him. And I've built it up in my head where I think it's a big deal. And then when I do have to break it out to him after this build up in 3 days in my head, I'm shitting myself. I'm thinking, oh, what am I going to say? I actually get the balls to just tell him and just point blank tell him what it is. And he says, all right, mate, no worries. It's all right. We'll get it next time. And we're going to do our business. There's no malice because he understands. You can build something up into in your head what's not what don't really exist. I think it'd be a good shout for Joshua to go and have the best counsel he could get would be to go meet up with Tyson, one-on-one, have a nice coffee together and just talk. Listen, because they both built each other's career. Without each one of them, they probably wouldn't be where they are now.
And I agree with you. I think I'd love to see that, and hopefully they can settle it in the ring and shake hands at the end of it. Shane, I genuinely appreciate 20 minutes of your time. Is there anything else you want to add before I let you go?
No. I just like to say,
Big up Boxing King Media.
Big up Boxing King Media. Big up Cox and Bean Media. No, the reason why Tyson is in the position he is at the minute, and he's got these fights in order because it's one man. It's the turkey I'll shake, and I haven't got to kiss anyone's ass and try and get in somewhere because I'm nowhere. But everything what they've said, they've delivered on, and they've got big things in pipeline for boxing. They're going to turn boxing around because it's in a sad state of affair at the minute, and I believe these are going to just turn it around totally. And what they say, they deliver within hours. So it's all good. We're happy to be here. We're getting treated like kings, and hopefully get the win. He's training like he could be fighting Usyk weekend. It won't make no difference. So yeah. That's it. All I can say is Tyson's training hard. He's not took it easy. He has been out 12 months, and you probably tell with his body shape. But he's as fit as fire. He can run 50 mile and he can spar 20 rounds. So there's nothing wrong with his engine, and he's strong and he's as hitting hard as ever, and he's doing well. So he's not took it light, and that's it. Tune in. It'll be an event. I'm looking forward to the day before. I don't know what is it. Is it the gala or something?
Gala dinner, yeah.
It's obviously a dream for a boxing fan. There's like 50 boxers, greats, living greats, all under one roof, and I'm hoping to get a picture of them all. Hopefully, probably tell me to do one, but we'll see.
Well, Shane, I hope you get that dream cemented, and I appreciate your time. Thank you very much.
Thank you.